So, Mike, we saw the closures of school putting the spotlight on another issue, and that is the digital divide.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. The digital divide across the world in different regions, different continents across the planet, but also the digital divide here in South Africa. For some people around the world, the classroom really just became a computer, a tablet, the search engine, Google. But for many, that's just not an option. They don't have access to the internet, and that's why, as you said, the digital divide is emerging as a big issue during the COVID-19 crisis. Let's take a quick look at some stats, Shahan, and we'll explore that issue specifically. So this is the regional analysis of countries and how they dealt with the remote learning program during the coronavirus crisis, Shahan. So we're looking, for instance, at East Asia and the Pacific. Around about 70% of countries in that particular region had some form of remote learning program in place, much of it actually on online platforms. Europe and Central Asia, almost 80%. When you look at Latin America and the Caribbean, Shahan, around about 76, 77%. But the key bar is that one right at the end of the graph. That's sub-Saharan Africa. Just a third of countries in our region, Shahan, running some sort of remote learning program during the pandemic. And you saw that red line shoot across our screen, Shahan. This basically looks at the percentage of the population in these regions which actually have access to the internet on a regular basis. And the link is quite clear, Shahan. Wherever you see a high bar when it comes to remote learning, you tend to see a high point on that red line because it means web access. There's a clear correlation, Shahan, between web access and the number of countries, the percentage of countries which had remote learning programs.
Yeah, and we have a similar program in South Africa, but internet access is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to put it in perspective, I'm going to focus on some other countries, and we'll get a sense of how South Africa is doing. So, for example, Japan, one of the best countries when it comes to digital infrastructure, Shahan. Around about 9 out of every 10 people in Japan actually use the internet on a regular basis. So very much internet savvy and literate, 91% of the population. Let's focus quickly on the global average, and then I'll just give you a sense of where South Africa is. Interestingly enough, Shahan, just 49% of the world's population use the internet on a regular basis. That was in 2017. So effectively, 5 out of 10 or 1 out of 2 people on the planet. I'm happy to report, Shahan, that South Africa is above the global average. In 2017, about 56% of our population using the net on a regular basis. But, of course, not nearly as much as we would like, not nearly as much as we really need to bridge the digital divide and deal with the historical inequalities that we have. Still, we are making some progress, and I just want to highlight that very quickly, Shahan. If you go back to, say, 2011, the figure was 34%, so really 1 out of every 3 South Africans. It has climbed steadily, Shahan, over the last decade. But as we mentioned, if we face another crisis and we have to put teaching and learning on hold, we don't want to be sitting at 56%, Shahan. We want to be much closer to 100% so that we can bridge that digital divide.
Yeah, definitely. And that's obviously to ensure equality when it comes to how people learn in this country. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.